Hey everyone, it's Schmuckles. Today we're going to talk about some new Dead by Daylight rumors for upcoming content. These are definitely rumors and unconfirmed things, but I'm going to be totally transparent about where these things came from. Make sure to like this video and subscribe to this channel if you want to see more content like this. I'm also live on Twitch right now streaming Dead by Daylight. Link for that in the description below. Today on Twitter, Bendy by Daylight tagged Bendy and said, "Since you're replying to some people, please tell us if you're joining Dead by Daylight. Pretty please let our dreams truly come true." And the official Bendy account said dreams can come true with a winky face. This was 5 hours ago on Twitter, so people are taking this as pretty much confirmed that Bendy's going to be joining Dead by Daylight in some capacity. It's pretty much breaking news today. We've had other hints in the past, but this is them, it seems like, almost blatantly saying that Bendy's going to be joining DBD. Is Bendy going to be the November license? Is it going to be just a cosmetic collection set? I'm not really sure. Let me know what you think about this in the comment section below. Upon the live release of The Walking Dead, Behavior Interactive released this little map, which shows us all of the teasers from the anniversary stream that were teasing The Walking Dead. And among these teasers was the Pocket Watch. So the Pocket Watch is officially confirmed to be a Walking Dead teaser, meaning it's not related to Vecna, and it's also not related to the Pale Man, which was a really interesting theory that I saw going around. Also, upon the live release of The Walking Dead into DBD, it was confirmed that Maggie Green will be released as a skin. This is a brand new Walking Dead skin that's coming to Dead by Daylight this Halloween event, which is leading people to question if this adds credibility to that rumor that we were tracking in the comment section of that YouTube video. This kind of suggested that The Walking Dead was going to have a Halloween event in Dead by Daylight. Now we know that Maggie Green is being released during Halloween, so would that fact add any validity to those rumors that there would be a Walking Dead themed Halloween event this year for Dead by Daylight? There was new news also regarding Danganronpa and just the theory that it's coming in for the November license as well. This is the official Danganronpa Twitter account, and you can see that they've totally rebranded their Twitter account to reflect the 15-year anniversary that's coming up that they're trying to celebrate. That's going to be this November. And in their pinned tweet, they have 15th anniversary updates. 15th anniversary offline event confirms in November 2025, a 15th anniversary offline event will be held in Tokyo. Stay tuned for further details about the event. The portal site revamp and the 15th anniversary special site launched. A special site commemorating the series' 15th anniversary is also launched today. And you can see on the website it says 2025 marks the 15th anniversary and birth of Danganronpa. Many commemorative events are being prepared, and here are 3 of them. One, a large-scale standalone real-life event will be held in November 2025. The portal site will be renewed and the 15th anniversary special website will be launched. All merchandise and collaboration information will be released at once. So they do mention collaborations, and they do say that there's going to be a real-life event held in November 2025. This is not too dissimilar from when Tokyo Ghoul was actually announced to be a Dead by Daylight chapter. There's a lot of parallels between the situations, so it is worth mentioning. In November, Danganronpa is having a 15th anniversary. There's going to be a live event held in Tokyo, and so people are wondering if Dead by Daylight is going to announce that they're going to be going to that event. That would be super similar to Ken Kaneki and the release of Tokyo Ghoul into Dead by Daylight. The biggest news in this video is that Jason Voorhees is coming to Fortnite. This is something that was posted by an official Fortnite leaker Twitter. Jason Voorhees Fortnite this Halloween and a medallion, as well as Ghostface in Fortnite likely this Halloween, Knife Mythic. So these were breaking leaks from the Fortnite community yesterday, and there's someone who is contacting me about Dead by Daylight leaks, someone that we actually covered in a previous video. It's a new user who went by the name Black Veil, and they were saying all of these things for Dead by Daylight that we covered in a previous video. They said that their source gets access to a bunch of different rumors and leaks, and I asked them what is one current pending rumor or leak that your source has that is not public yet, and 2 weeks ago he told me that Jason is coming to Fortnite, and that was well before anything was ever public about Jason coming to Fortnite. This was also well before the San Diego Comic-Con stuff that we covered on this channel too, because it was 2 weeks ago that this person said this to me. So this is the person Tickletoe that said, nope, but the Resident Evil is real. Resident Evil will be happening. Collabs will be Resident Evil again, and Death Note for skins, which is pretty hype. They said Resident Evil should be November since I was told it was happening soon. November makes perfect sense for the chapter. There's still so much characters to add to DBD from the Resident Evil series. So they said all of these things. I posted a video going over those rumors, and then they came to to my Twitch live stream and they said this. Their name is BlackVeil03 in my chat. They said, by the way, I never said anything about Resident Evil being Jack Baker. I have absolutely no clue who it is since I never ask. And they said that I'm Tickletoad420 from the video. He said, I can ask if my guy knows who it is, but he really only knows about who's being added and skin collabs, if any. He does the same with Fortnite in multiverses when it was still around. I didn't really know this person that well when I was interacting with them on Twitch. So I said, just knowing perfectly well that they could be totally lying to me about all of this, because they are just saying stuff that isn't necessarily backed up. I said, has your source always been accurate in the past, and how could your source have access to such information? I think these are reasonable questions to ask just to see what the response would be. They said, yes, their source has always been accurate in the past, 100% accurate, and they said their source has access to such information through other sources and marketing. Unfortunately, I can't prove it unless I find the messages of Alien if it's still in the server he leaked it in. So at this point, I'm still like, okay, this person is just saying this. Other sources and marketing is sort of just a vague avenue. Like that could totally be made up. Like up until this point, I'm totally thinking like this could definitely still be made up. This person does then say something that sort of changes my mind on it and actually transitions this whole thing to like a rumor from just someone just saying something that can't be backed up. But all of this is still just a rumor, just so you know. But let's go over the facts of the situation, because this conversation was 2 weeks ago. He said, I said this before, but I really want people to take me with a grain of salt, since even though the guy hasn't been wrong before, it still can happen to be false. So he's not 100% sure of his source, is what he is saying here. We were asking if it was going to be a Walking Dead themed tome, because that had not been revealed yet, and it wasn't. And this person said, I never asked about the tome stuff. He only told me about Jason being rejected a while back, and the two things I said. So according to this person, Jason Voorhees was rejected a while back, and actually I asked for clarification on this, and they have clarified to me that according to them, they're saying Jason was rejected by the Jason license holders in January when Behavior asked to add them to Dead by Daylight. And this person said, Warner Bros is making a game, that's why. And they're saying Jason Voorhees got rejected into Dead by Daylight because Warner Bros is making a game. And this was before the San Diego Comic-Con actually confirmed this fact that they are working on a new Jason Voorhees game. So this person's actually starting to say some stuff that has not happened yet, because this was 2 weeks ago before San Diego Comic-Con. I knew that there were existing rumors of a Jason Voorhees game, but there's nothing that was officially confirmed by the license holders of the franchise like it was at San Diego Comic-Con. So it's kind of interesting that this person has now said some stuff that actually comes true within the next week. And they said apparently Warner Bros. And the guy that went on a rant about people still don't understand the Jason Voorhees rights holder still. Not gonna lie, I still don't understand that shit. They said Warner Bros. Is planning on milking out Jason. He made them a lot of money in multiverses. Beetlejuice might get a new cartoon unless they canned it already. It was mentioned with some new Steven Universe show. And then I asked this person, I said, what is one thing that your source has said that's going to come true that is pending, that is not public information? What is something that is not public that your source has said right now that's currently pending? That your source is like, this is happening. It doesn't even have to be DBD related. And they said Jason in Fortnite. This is what they said. 2 weeks ago, they said Jason in Fortnite. And I was like, I don't think I've ever heard of Jason in Fortnite. They said Jason in Fortnite, he's still happening. They said also Death Note in Fortnite might happen too. So I was getting this information while I was streaming live on Twitch. And I was like, you know what? I'm just going to check this out on Twitter real quick. Let's check some of the top Fortnite leaker sources and see if anyone is talking about Jason in Fortnite. I essentially wanted to check if this person was just parroting information that was already posted by pretty reliable Fortnite leakers. And I went through all the Fortnite leakers and there was nothing about Jason in Fortnite. I even did a Google search as well. There was nothing public about Jason Voorhees coming to Fortnite. So 2 weeks ago, this person said this and I was like, okay, there's nothing public about Jason Voorhees coming to Fortnite. And this is something that this person is saying their source is saying is happening. It's not public information. It's not posted by any Fortnite leakers. And it is something that is currently pending that nobody has said anything about. So then yesterday, when Fortnite leakers are now saying that Jason Voorhees is coming to Fortnite, I'm like, that's another checkbox for this person and their source and the validity of their story. So the rumor is that this person is saying that their source gets access to Dead by Daylight, multiverses when it was still around, and Fortnite licensing stuff. They said that Resident Evil is coming to Dead by Daylight. It could possibly be for the November chapter. And it wasn't necessarily confirmed to be Jack Baker, though Ruthless Leaks, a different source entirely, still thinks that Jack Baker is an upcoming chapter in DBD DBD. So if we put those two pieces of information together, we could maybe speculate that Jack Baker is going to be the killer with that chapter. My point is that this source and this person is a new rumor for Dead by Daylight, and at this point a little bit more credible than somebody just saying something and just claiming that what they're saying is accurate, because they have now said things to me during this Twitch stream that has actually come true before it was public information. I don't think they have very much other information other than the fact that Resident Evil is going to be happening again in Dead by Daylight. They also said Death Note for skins as well in Dead by Daylight. Death Note is a Japanese manga series, so we'll have to keep an eye out and see if the Death Note skins actually come into DBD, because this is another point that we can actually check the credibility of this source. But I just wanted to bring this to your attention and just the entire situation and the timeline. 2 weeks ago, this person said Warner Bros. Is working on a new Jason Voorhees game, and then about a week and a half ago, this was confirmed at San Diego Comic-Con. 2 weeks ago, this same source also said Jason is coming into Fortnite. There's nothing public about it. And then just yesterday, it was confirmed by a leaker source that Jason Voorhees is coming into Fortnite this Halloween. So I thought that was all pretty notable stuff. There were also things said at this San Diego Comic-Con that I didn't cover in my previous video. Hunter Bolden, who attended the San Diego Comic-Con panel, confirmed this information about Jason Voorhees. Robert Barsamian says after 45 years, they want another 45 years of Jason. They're listening to fans and take their opinions into account. He says to be patient with what they're doing. This is what we covered the previous video. Robert Barsamian says a new movie and new game are coming from Jason Universe. And the panel was informative and does give hope to the future of the franchise. So all of the Jason Voorhees news has got to move Resident Evil higher up on our list for possibilities for November, I think. There were some red flags that we actually talked about for Resident Evil and Dead by Daylight. We've been trying to keep track of all of the rumors in Dead by Daylight, and when talking about Jack Baker and Resident Evil as the possibility for the November license, there were some things that made us question if it could actually be true or not. Definitely check out our debate video from a month ago if you want to know what I'm talking about. You can click on that link in the title above. Someone also tagged me on this on Twitter, which I thought was kind of interesting. I've got something for you guys for your next tinfoil hat / speculation video. The Indian Fever WBB team is currently rocking Stranger Things jerseys, so Netflix is opening to licensing out the Stranger Things IP again. Here's that for you for your next licensed video. So this was a Stranger Things licensing collaboration that actually happened, and so people were saying like, well, maybe this is evidence that Netflix would be down to license out their IP to other third-party entities. So could that be another point towards Stranger Things potentially being the November license? I think it's possible. I think the timing is very good, and we've talked about it pretty extensively, as well as just the Stranger Things licensing timeline too. There's a pretty strong case for it being November. Someone came into my live stream and said, Schmuckles, have you heard about the Predator rumors for Dead by Daylight? And I was like, I really have not heard of anything that new for Predator. And so I kind of looked online and I found this. I don't know if this is what the person was talking about in regards to Predator rumors. This comes from Leaks by Daylight. And just to be totally transparent, I don't think there's that much credibility with Leaks by Daylight. Like, this source, Leaks by Daylight, has said things as confirmed leaks in the past that have turned out to not be true. So it seems like they mix up educated guesses with sort of unconfirmed sources and just sort of present things as like this is a confirmed leak when it's not necessarily. So I definitely take this with a massive grain of salt. I'm just going to read what they said, because people in the community are talking about this as grounds for rumors that Predator is going to be joining Dead by Daylight. Predator rumored to join DBD in November alongside the new movie release. It sort of just goes over the fact that there's a significant revival of the franchise for Predator in 2025. There's the animated anthology Predator Killer of the Killers premiering on Hulu and Disney Plus on June 6th. Live action feature Predator Badlands, and that is set for theatrical release during the PTB month for this November license, November 7th. So I think this is pretty much the basis for the Predator rumors in DBD. That's going to be similarly to the release of Stranger Things Season 5. The Predator franchise has a new movie set to be released in November. So it's getting people to wonder, since Alien's already in Dead by Daylight, owned by the same owners, it's got to be just a waiting game at this point for Predator to be joining. Does the November license make the most sense for this? Some people seem to think so. I know people always ask me for this updated list for what's most likely for November. We've talked a lot about Stranger Things and Resident Evil. I still think The Conjuring fits the pieces really well too, so that's why it's still got to be in my top 3. And we really haven't talked about this in a while, but Matthew Cote did say that there are legendary horror movie IPs coming to Dead by Daylight, and we really haven't seen any legendary horror movie IPs since he said that. We've seen pretty much like Tokyo Ghoul, which is not a legendary horror movie IP. It's more of a manga turned into an anime series. And then we saw Springtrap from Five Nights at Freddy's, a video game franchise. Stranger Things is a TV show, not a legendary horror movie IP. The Conjuring does fit the pieces for a legendary horror movie IP in my opinion. And we haven't seen anything done with Blumhouse or Atomic Monster yet either. So I do think that The Conjuring's got to be be in the top 3. I think it's kind of like a wild card that really fits some of the pieces really well. But those are my top 3 in no particular order at this point. Stranger Things, Resident Evil, and The Conjuring for the November license. Which license do you think is most likely? Let me know in the comment section below. Make sure to like this video and subscribe to this channel if you want to see more content like this. I'm also live on Twitch right now streaming Dead by Daylight. Link for that in the description below. That does it for this video. Goodbye.